Good morning, saints, and welcome to the Dixon's devotion. Today we'll be looking at Psalm chapter 28. Recently, my wife was telling me a story of this lady. She amassed a good amount of wealth and she built a beautiful house, and then she had a housewarming and she invited some friends over to her house. And while they were there in the swimming pool, swimming and everything like that, having a wonderful time, the lady, she got out the pool and she went someplace. And while she was going, her friends took out a little portion out of a bottle and tried to throw it down in her glass for her to drink. Now, while they were doing that, the neighbors on the other side were looking on and see all what was going on. And the neighbor saw what her friends were doing, so the neighbor ran over to her house and reached just in time before they offered the lady the portion to drink. And just before she started to drink it, the neighbor came and said, no, don't drink that, let one of your friends drink it. And they refrained from drinking it. Then the neighbor pulled out his phone and showed the lady what was going on when she turned her back, how they tried to kill her. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of times we don't know who our enemies are. They might be our frenemies. We might see people who are laughing and grinning with us, and we might think they are our friends. Now, how do we know our friends from our enemies? Sometimes it is difficult. But here in Psalms chapter 28, David is praying. Now, before I get into the crux of the story, this psalm is a psalm, it's almost related to Psalms chapter 27. You'll see the theme, the temple, and you'll see the theme, strength, reoccurring in this psalm. Now, David is asking God, David is pleading to God to listen to him, to hear him, to answer his prayer from verse 1 to verse 5. And then when you read from verse 6 to right down, you see David's prayers is answered. Now, and it's what you call an imprecatory psalm, which I told you about. Imprecatory psalms, these are psalms that you pray evil, God will judge your enemies. Now, David is praying that their enemies be revealed and their enemies be exposed, and God will deal with them according to their deeds. Now, should we pray that God take vengeance and deal bad to our enemies? Not necessarily. We should pray for them and ask God to save them and change them. But this is what an imprecatory psalm does. But at the same time, when we look at the psalms, nothing wrong with exposing those who are trying to do evil. Because being exposed, we understand who they are. Not only that, that's the way they can refrain from doing what they're doing. And a lot of times, we don't know who our enemies are. We are living in a wicked and a cruel world. And sometimes we ask God to reveal. Sometimes you're in a situation, you can feel the tension. You can feel the enemy around you. And those who don't do you good, even in the workplace, in your home, wherever. And every time you ask God to expose them, but we don't ask God necessarily to deal wickedly with them. And here we see that David asks God to listen to him, expose his enemy. And as we see in the psalm, we are going to see some things here concerning the psalms that are very pertinent. First of all, as I said, when we look at the psalm, in verse 1, we see David is saying, "To you, Lord, I call." Sometimes the only person you can turn to is God. You can't turn to your right, you can't turn to your left, because you cannot trust people. He is a king. Sometimes in that era as a king, sometimes you have all kind of cutthroat people, want your throne. And sometimes even the people, your counselors around you, you cannot trust. He said, "The Lord is my rock, do not be deaf to me." So he said, Lord, have you ever been in a situation before that you're crying, Lord, don't be deaf, listen to me? And he's asking God for to listen to him. Hear the sound of my pleading in verse 2. When I cry for help, when I raise my hands towards you in your sanctuary. You see the sanctuary again? David normally going to the sanctuary. And in the sanctuary, he's talking about the holy place. What is your sanctuary? Your holy sanctum. Those of us who are born again, those of us who are believers, let us go into the holy sanctum of your heart, the deep part of your soul, the place of your soul, and cry out and pray to God. Do not drag me away with the wicked. I mean, those of us who are born again, we are not going to be dragged away with the wicked. In other words, he's saying, do not let me in my physical, in this life, be embarrassed or suffer the same fate as the wicked. Don't let me go down like them with those who are practicing injustice, who speak peace with their neighbor while evil in their hearts. The same thing I was talking about. Two in front of the lady, they were looking nice, we're your friends, yes, we're your partners, but yet in their heart they were speaking evil and trying to destroy that person. Have you ever met people like that? Give back to them according to their work and according to their evil of their practice. Give back to them according to their work of their hand. Repay them what is due to them, because they do not regard the works of the Lord, nor the deeds of his hands. He will tear them down and not build them up. Blessed be the Lord. So you see right here, he's saying, Lord, I don't want to be judged like them. People who speak good in front of you, good in front of you, but behind, they are evil, they have evil intention before you. He said, Lord, I don't want to be judged like them. Lord, expose them. Lord, bring them down. And he said, blessed be the Lord. Look at why he said, blessed be the Lord, because he had heard the sound of my plea. David was pleading and God heard him. Have you ever in a situation you're crying out to God, it seems like God is not answering, and then all of a sudden, unexpectedly, you get your answer? Because he has heard the sound of my pleading, the Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him and I am helped. Therefore my heart triumphs. You see, when you're pleading, you feel like defeated. But when you are heard and your praise answered, you feel triumphant. You feel like you have triumph. God has rescued your soul. That's what said, the Lord is my strength. He is my refuge and salvation to his anointed. Save your people and bless your inheritance. Be their shepherd also and carry them forever. In other words, not just only pray when you have victorious, pray for other people who suffer in the same situation, that they too might be victorious. Remember, the Lord is our shepherd. And let's go back to Psalms chapter 23. The Lord is our shepherd. Don't be afraid to find time to go into the holy sanctum of your heart, the sacred place, wherever that place is. Find a sacred place. It could be in the house of the Lord. It could be, in your home, but a sacred closet, what you call your holy sanctum, and plead your case to God. And you don't take vengeance. Let God do that. Just put the situation in God's hands. And like that lady who her seemingly friends tried to do evil to her, and God had that neighbor right there looking out for her. So it is. God will do the same. Trust the Lord and he will protect you. Continue to call on him. Sometimes I feel like God is not there, but continue calling and the day will come. He will give you the answer. But the Lord bless you and have a wonderful day.